We have a unicorn.
Someone very unique and dear to us. He's a really good friend who was there for us when we most needed it.
I dreamed of moving to Cali.
Much love to the Inland Empire, but it's just, not the ideal place to grow up.
You said that a lot of responsibility was placed upon you.
I was just never prepared for it. It just happened so quick, and it's just like, okay. I told my mom, I was like, hey mom, I'm going to Miami next week. She's like, why? I'm like, well, the job that I work at wants me to live in Miami.
Was it the money? Was it the living opportunity?
Both. Who else wouldn't live rent-free in Miami and then just have everything paid for while also making money? That company went down. We tried different business ventures, did not work out, and I was literally like making no money. I was living off my credit cards.
Hey bro, you think that we can crash at your place?
You could have easily taken the opportunity of not feeling comfortable.
My parents taught me morals and treat people with kindness and stuff.
I feel the touch of God in that situation, because for everybody to be okay with it.
And I remember you guys were talking about like opening up your bike shop.
Yeah.
From the time you guys were living with us.
Through Max, I've seen also you grow in that area of becoming more confident and wanting to talk to girls.
Little by little, I just started like taking action, going to the gym, eating clean, meeting new friends.
Yeah. Welcome back, everybody. Episode 16.
16.
I always got to double check because, you just got to double check.
It goes by fast.
I got a name. We spoke about it.
Yeah.
You said you liked it.
Yeah.
I don't feel 100% about it. But how do you feel about it? By the way, I did get a name. I told the audience, I told Isaac that my intention was to download the name from the universe, from God. And I got a couple of options. The number one being No Breaks. The No Breaks podcast.
When you told me that name, I vibed with it immediately. And you tied it really well to the fact that we have the bike shops. And No Breaks makes sense with the bikes. There was something, though, that when I looked it up, there was something like that already. No Breaks podcast.
There was F1.
Yeah, by F1. So it's a popular name.
And there was another one that said No Breaks, No Fear. I really like that one.
Yeah, No Breaks, No Fear.
That was fire.
That's good. So
then after that, you lost the momentum, huh?
It's a strong contender, but we do have to figure out how do we manage that. Because you do have to somehow add something to it so that it's not the same. That was my only thing, but I really liked it. How it's something that really speaks to the way that we move. No brakes, all gas.
Yeah.
And it matches the things that we do for our businesses. But it was just that little hiccup. But I liked it.
Yeah.
I remember texting you like 4 minutes before midnight. I was still awake, and I text Max saying 4 minutes until the end of the day. Did you get a name? You didn't text me back, but...
I didn't text you back, but I told him the next day. And I just remember when Dylan was talking, who was our guest in the previous episode. So if you haven't seen that episode, our friends Dylan and Sebastian, back from San Francisco all the way to LA.
Let's go.
And Dylan started to spit, and as he was spitting, bro, I'm telling you, I just felt like, all right. I just felt like I was about to enter it and I was about to download it. And then, as I told you, I didn't think that I would maybe come up with it. Maybe I did.
Yeah.
But I thought the universe would give it to me in a billboard. You maybe tell it to me, or I hear something. And so for some reason, when Dylan was talking, because he was talking about what I want this podcast to be in a way.
Yeah.
And the things that I wanted to talk about. So I felt that he was going to tell me, bro. And he said No Breaks.
Oh, he did say that way?
It was when he talked about...
Oh, yeah, he did. When he said that he took his first trip, he took a bike with no brakes.
Yeah, and the no brakes, it hit me. And so that's how I thought about, okay, maybe it could be that one.
Yeah.
But
what is that? I have a question, bro. What is that feeling like when you feel like you start to tap into that energy? What does that feel like?
You have to almost generate it. Yeah. You have to really generate it, and you have to. It's kind of the feeling when you meditate. You have to try to meditate, right? You have to try to like get in that position, and you got to look for it. And as what I was feeling, it was just a deeper connection to the moment.
Yeah.
To something, but it's hard to explain.
Yeah. You really have to experience it to know. But I don't know. Let us know what you guys think about No Breaks. How do we make it more unique? Or if you guys have any other suggestions. I fucked with it, but it was just that little hiccup. You did have a second one.
Yeah.
But it was a little bit like...
Should I say it?
If you want.
So another name that came to my mind was Unicorn, just because at the end of the day, we're all very unique. And, you know, we've heard that saying in business a lot of times. For example, I think I heard it with Uber. It was a unicorn business. Unicorn. Just whenever something is very unique, they call it a unicorn. And I think at the end of the day, we're all super unique. And not only in the way we were brought to this world, but we all know ourselves we all have a certain perspective of ourselves. And when we break that perspective and we get out of our comfort zone and become someone new, you become a unicorn to yourself. You become unique, another unique version of yourself. That iOS 14, I think our guest told me that not too long ago. He said that iOS 14 version. But let's introduce our guest. So I thought unicorn. Sorry. I thought unicorn. And I was like, unicorn gang, you know, because we're all like, whoever wants to be part of the gang, the unicorn gang. But then I looked it up, and it was not what I thought it would be.
Yeah. Well, but with that being said, we do have a unicorn in the house.
We have a unicorn.
Someone very unique and dear to us. He's a really good friend who was there for us when we most needed it. You remember that, Max, how tough that was to come to Cali by ourselves, only the two of us, to try to find a place to stay for the gang.
2019.
And there was one friend that hooked us up with housing, his hospitality, his family welcomed us, and that's our friend Misa. Misa, how are you, brother? Let's go, baby. How are you?
Welcome to the pod. There's no name for it, but welcome to the pod.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys. I'm doing amazing. Beautiful day in Santa Monica. I have the healthy shirt on.
Let's go.
I like it.
You know, it's what you put on is just as important as what you put in. That's what I say.
Wow, spitting
right from the get-go.
Away.
Misa came with those one-liners.
He said I'm ready. He got the fade, he got the cut, the fresh drip.
No, but I like it, bro. It really sets the momentum. I like that you texted us. We have a group chat, and he's like, I'm gonna go get that fade. It does play a big role in the energy that you bring to the pod. I like it, Mies. You look drippy too, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I say we just give a little bit of context as always, and talk about how we met Mies, and then connect that with us moving to California, and just kind of share a little bit more about us guys, because Mies became it was a very before and after, you know. Mies became one of our quote unquote new friends. It was part of a new journey that we were going into. And so when we were in Austin, Texas, we looked for an opportunity to get mentored by someone in Florida by the name of Steven Bransfield. Shout out Steven. He was basically looking for one individual for marketing help. I believe it was Facebook ads, right? It was pretty much Facebook ads. And once I saw this opportunity, I told Isaac, hey, we have to jump on this. And I remember, I think we were probably heading to dinner with your parents, I think, bro.
Yeah.
And I said, let's jump on this. You remember Samir?
Yeah. Shebang.
Samir was an e-com guru that I followed, and he was connected with Steven. And so that's how I knew of Steven. And so then he posted, he's looking for someone. And I said, Isaac, I think we can get to this guy. Let's say he'll get 2 people for 1 wage. Who wouldn't love that? Which business owner wouldn't love to get, 2 brains for the price of 1? and let's just tell him that we're willing to make this move. Because I remember he showed where he lived, and
Yeah.
he said everything would be paid for, and he would mentor you and this and that. And I said, bro, this is the opportunity that we have to take. And so we executed on that right away. And Steven fucked with it, obviously.
But I don't want to skip the fact that we did a very amazing video. Remember when we...
Do we still have it?
I don't know, dude.
Bro, that
I mean,
would
you
be
might
legendary.
have it. Yeah, that would be legendary. But we sat in our bedroom and we recorded ourselves just like this in front of our camera or iPhone. And we just explained what Max explained to you guys, to Steven.
Yep, we told him we were the guys.
Yeah.
And that we were willing to make this move ASAP. So long story short, he accepted us. We moved to Florida. And I remember we pulled up in Isaac's. You had a Pontiac too, right?
Yeah.
That's funny because the Pontiac G6 was my first car. That's the car that Isaac had as well.
Yeah.
So that's a funny story. But we pulled up in the Pontiac, and as we were pulling up to Brickell, which was the building that we were going to live in, one of the first individuals that we saw was Miz and the homie Jorge as well. So Steve came down with Miz, and Jorge came down. You all came down together, and that was the first time we met you, man. In that moment, I obviously didn't know that we'd be where we are today. But how was it for you getting to that position? Because you had already been there, right? And can you tell us a little bit about where you were before that, and how, and if that changed just the trajectory of your life, you know?
Yeah, so this was in 2018, 2017.
Yeah, around there.
Around that time.
Yeah.
And I was going to school. So I went to school, majored in engineering. I was a tutor at the time. And it was during that time where you would transfer from a 2-year college into university. And I remember being accepted into, I believe it was UC Irvine. And so I had to come up with different streams of income to live in Irvine at the time. And so I remember I was just applying to places, not getting any luck. And then I remember Jorge, which Jorge I met through a close friend of mine from school. He was doing digital marketing. So I had to hit him up. I was like, hey, bro, are you looking for anybody? He replies back to me, hey, we need somebody who can help teach our students how to do marketing funnels, how to set up websites, how to run ads. You just need to teach them. I'm like, cool. I have the experience. I have the teaching experience. So sign me up. Yeah. And I remember Jorge's like, all right, cool. Show up to my house at 6 a.m. and then I'll train you. I show up, and then he just shows me everything, breaking down how to set up the funnels, how to set up the Facebook ads, taking calls with clients, and just walking them through how to set everything up. And it was cool because it was the exact same thing I was doing in the tutoring center. Is whenever a student would have a problem, go in and then help them out. And then any questions that they had, pretty much just break it down for them, and then just have them, like, the goal was to really get them to do it and to also understand how it worked. And so that's why it was like I related a lot to that job. And so I believe I got hired, and then I got hired like during the summertime. So this was like me trying to find, like, okay, I got a job now, I can save enough so I can go live out in Irvine. And so I started working so much. I ended up loving it. And then I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to take a break from school and then just keep on doing this. And then I remember it was late November. I get a message from Steven saying, hey, how would you feel about moving to Miami? I'm like, what? You know?
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, you know, I don't have kids. I don't have a girlfriend. Why not? You know, it's a living opportunity over there. He's like, cool, pack your things and I'll fly you out on Monday. And I remember I was just like, I couldn't believe it. I told my mom, I was like, hey, Mom, I'm going to Miami next week. And she's like, what? I'm like, yeah. She's like, why? I'm like, well, the job that I work at wants me to live in Miami. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah. she's like, "Oh, well, good for you, mijo." I'm like, "Yeah." So it was interesting, and it was just like, it was just very, it was very surprising because it's just like, yo, like, I was originally going to go to school, and then now I get this living opportunity to live across the country and work for a startup, work for very, very strong-minded entrepreneurs, and I don't know. It was a very, very interesting encounter. So spontaneous, I would say.
What was the main driver towards making this move? Was it the money? Were you getting paid pretty well? Was it the living opportunity? What was the main driver in you making that decision?
Both the money and the living opportunity. Who else wouldn't live rent free in Miami and then just have everything paid for while also making money?
The rent free is crazy, bro. Because you're, like you're saying, you're making money and one of your biggest expenses is rent. So not having that expense in your pocket means everything that you make is pretty much straight income. Okay, so another thing that I would like to highlight, and obviously we're gonna get into this as well, but I think it would be fair to say that, just like we all had those rough come-ups. I mean, you came from Fontana, right?
Yeah.
That's where you're from.
Yeah.
And Fontana is pretty rough out there, huh?
Yeah.
Can you share a little bit about that come-up and what it was like? How did it shape you?
Yeah. So I remember it was going to school and then going to college. And especially when you live in a first generation, or when you come from a first generation family, your parents expect you to go to school and they expect you to graduate and have a good paying career, which is fine, but that doesn't really find oneself. And that's part of life, is to also find the journey of yourself. So a bit of background about myself is, so one of the biggest turning points is when my dad passed away. I think I was like 15, and I had a lot of pressure built upon me, being the firstborn, having 4 younger brothers to be the positive influence, or to be the influence, and and then just coming from the Inland Empire, it's much love to the Inland Empire, but it's just, not the ideal place to grow up.
Why would you say it's not the ideal place? Because just so you can give that context to people who don't live in California, because I remember when I dreamed of moving to Cali, I only thought of LA. There was no Riverside, there was no IE, there was no, probably I knew San Francisco, but a lot of parts of California I was not aware of. And to me, the IE holds a very special place, because that's where you're from and that's where we moved in at first, and it was that hit of, damn, this is California as well. Why is the IE different? Yeah,
so the IE desert, is desert. Closest thing to the IE would be the mountains. So you would see Big Bear Mountain. It's an hour drive away from LA without traffic. Keep in mind, with traffic in LA is bad.
Yeah.
So it's really bad. It took me, I think, an hour and 30 minutes to get here with traffic, which that's
pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good time.
That's pretty good.
Sometimes there's days where it takes me 2 hours to get here.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh gosh. But the IE is just it's just different. Like desert, you have Hesperia, you have Fontana, you have San Bernardino. Which San Bernardino, a lot of people, is a very monumental city, because there's the Route 66, the Swing Auditorium, the Orange Show, a bunch of performers. Well, I think it was Led Zeppelin. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. So always we got to fact check this. But Led Zeppelin, greatest rock band history in the world. I believe their first performance in the U.S. was in San Bernardino.
And I think it was with you, bro, where we went to maybe a festival or a concert, and we took an Uber there. And I remember the Uber driver said that people back in the day, because there was no Google Maps, that people back in the day would drive towards California, want to get to LA, and San Bernardino was the first thing that they kind of saw that was big. And he said that people thought that was LA. You know, people saw it and they're like, oh, we're here, we're in LA. But obviously it wasn't. That was, do you remember that?
Yeah.
He said that, right?
Yeah.
So that is very interesting. But also, I mean, the IE, would you say in general is Hispanic dominated?
Majority Hispanic.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hispanic.
What about African Americans?
Yeah, African Americans too.
Whites?
Yeah, a bit white.
So a little bit of everything?
Yeah.
But Fontana, I remember, was very Hispanic.
Yes. So Fontana, very Hispanic. Very high in Hispanic.
And also what I remember, it was very hot over there. So that makes it very tough living conditions as well.
Yeah, so it gets like to the high, 110, probably even more. Basically to the point where you can start cooking eggs outside.
Oh, Jesus, bro.
Do you have a...
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, Miz. I got caught up on the fact that you, unfortunately, when your dad passed away...
I want to talk about that, so yeah.
You said that a lot of responsibility was placed upon you. And I can imagine that shit wouldn't be easy for someone who is 15 years old with 3 younger brothers. I know your brothers as well. We hung out with them and played video games with them. And then your mom. And your mom obviously probably devastated too by the passing of your father. You guys as well. How do you manage that responsibility as they're looking at you as the provider now because you are the oldest brother? How did you manage that responsibility?
Yeah, man. It was tough. Like when it first happened, when we first received the news, like it hit hard and just.
How old were you? Sorry?
15.
You were 15?
Yeah.
Okay.
15. And just holding that responsibility I was just never prepared for it, you know? Like it just happened so quick and it's just like, okay, here, dad's no longer in the picture. So I've always tried my best to be an influence to my brothers, go to school, get a good paying job. But there was also this other side where it's just like, I kind of got involved with the wrong crowd, started doing bad things. And then, man, it was just so bad. And it got to a point where it's just like, okay, do I really because I know where this is headed. It's not the future for that is not good. So that's when my mom made the decision because my mom, she caught me ditching and it upset her. Mm-hmm. And she noticed that I was failing my classes and she noticed that my attendance was low. She was getting calls from the school. And so my mom made the decision to move from Highland. So originally we lived in Highland and we moved straight to Fontana because we had family closer to that city. And so I think if my mom didn't make that decision, I probably would have still stayed with that crowd. But the responsibility was tough, man.
Dude, was there ever a conversation between your mom and you where she sat you down and she said, Misa, you're the oldest brother. I need you to step it up?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
There was?
Wow, that's crazy.
At the age of 15?
It was probably around 16, 17.
Okay.
She's like, it was hurting her for a bit.
Yeah.
And that's when I started having my vision clear up more. Okay, I need to get my stuff together. And so it wasn't until my junior year in high school I started taking school more serious. So I started passing all my classes. I graduated on time, and then went to college and got first person in my family to get accepted into a 4-year university. So for Hispanics, that's pretty big deal.
Yeah, that is a big deal. What about those 15 years when you did have your father? Because I think how would you say he influenced your life? Would you say that in those 15 years that he was with you, did he give you some type of nuggies and wisdom that helped you, or what type of father would you say he was?
Yeah, I remember my dad. He would be the man that would wake up early, get ready for work, and just leave to work. And I felt like I picked that work ethic off of him, just waking up early and then getting ready and starting my day. And then just really being there for your kids. My dad, he didn't grow up with his dad in his life, and so he wanted to make sure that he wanted to be present for his kids. So really, really grateful for that. Really grateful. 15 years again, like, yeah, it did suck, but you know, just at the end of the day, just gotta be grateful and thank God for that time with him. So yeah, man.
Yeah, that is an amazing perspective to have that mindset of still being grateful and thanking God for those 15 years. That's a very strong mindset to have, and perspective that is key, you know, to not get stuck in the hurt and the pain, you know. And so pretty much once we met in Miami, we didn't really talk that much, right?
Mm.
Miz was doing his own thing. Like he was saying, he was coaching a lot of the clients. He was trying to get those old people. They were all old, right?
Yeah. So the cool thing about the job was, like, it was a completely new field to me, but it was just a bunch of old people. So like when I was learning with them, you know? And so like, oh man, I would get phone calls too when people were like, hey, I can't, like, my computer doesn't turn on. Like, how do I turn this thing on? I'm all right, cool. So you do this. Are the cables connected? You know, is the switch in the back on? Like, dude, it was a cool job. And then like just working or just learning at the exact same time, dude, it was just, I don't know how to explain it, man. It was just.
And
like,
I know you love teaching. We spoke about it last week when you came to Santa Monica, and you told me, I love teaching. That's what I want to do. So I can imagine that job was fulfilling for you.
yeah.
And I remember that, you know, Isaac and I have had multiple moments where we know that we're going to impact people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's those bangers. And this was one of the first ones that I remember we were not going to share. We didn't tell anyone about it.
Right.
We said, we're just going to post it on IG. We're going to hit him with it.
Yeah.
And it's going to shock the world.
Right.
Because we thought essentially, you know, one of the things that you hear a lot is look for a mentor. And so, you know, we thought that Steven was going to be that to us. And so we thought we made it, you know, we're going to make it. There's no way we don't make it out of here, you know. And so we were super excited. And I remember we got there, and pretty much our experience was Steven was very busy because there was aggressive scaling. I feel that that's what was happening. And so he wasn't really helping us out too much. He pretty much just gave us a few tasks,
Mm-hmm.
paid us what he said he would pay us, covered the rent. And we were there for what, 3 months?
3 months.
3 months. And me and Isaac were just pretty much living that Miami life for 3 months with very little tasks to do. And we had a really good time just living that Miami life. As you know, Miami is very, very beautiful. Brickell is amazing.
Oh, super amazing.
Super amazing.
We were on the 40-something floor.
Yeah. Tory Lanez was living in that building.
Tory Lanez
remember?
was living in that building.
I got a pic with him, bro.
Dude.
Yeah. So
That's
the view was
crazy.
amazing.
Yeah.
And the thing is that we lived in the same room as Mies.
No. Same building.
Oh no,
Same
Who
building.
lived in the
Chris.
it was
Chris,
Chris.
right?
Yeah, Chris.
Yeah,
the video
it
editor.
was Chris. But Mies would come down there
Rarely, bro.
rarely, not too often.
Bro,
I
I'd
don't
say maybe I saw you no more than 5 times, bro.
Yeah, it was a short amount. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't really see Mies at all. Like Max said, we were just living the Miami life and doing what Steven wanted us to do. And I remember we scraped those 3 months because we did have a conversation with Steven when he was like, guys, I don't think that I can keep you much longer. And I remember we were in the living in the
Brickle pool table.
Yeah, like the lounge area, and we would go play pool there so much, dude. Just like
ping
pong.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, like, is that why you guys are so good at pool? You guys...
No, dude. We would go there play ping pong all the time, and we had a conversation there with Steven where he said, "Hey guys, like I don't think I can keep you guys much longer," and we were so devastated. I remember trying my hardest to tell Steven, "Dude, but we can do this, and you can." Just trying to figure out a way so that we can stay longer because we were just enjoying ourselves too much, and we were trying to do,
bro.
Yeah, we were trying to do our best. We really tried to get close to Steven. We tried to get close to you guys, but I do remember that you guys, looking back at it now, I know Steven was young, and like Max said, you guys were trying to scale quickly, and to do that, it takes a lot of skill and experience. And yeah, unfortunately, Steven didn't have the experience to be able to pull together as a team to make us feel like part of the team. I remember there were times where like they would hang out by themselves, and Max and I would be like, "Damn, they didn't take us."
They hate us.
so
and it hit, bro. It hit.
Yeah, so it hit, and there were times where we just were upset at the fact that we didn't have much to do with Steven because we were looking for a mentor and we tried to get along with everyone, but it was just tough. But everything happens for a reason. And
I did feel, because we'll share what slightly what happened after, but eventually the company went down and everybody went their own ways. But I did feel, although that sucked in that moment, I did feel, once you hear everything that happened, I did feel that God was protecting us, because fortunately, before everything went down, again, we were removed from the situation. We went back to Austin, Texas, and continued to do our thing. And then later we find out, all these things start coming out about the company that I'm not going to share here. But, I did feel the protection of God there, bro.
Yeah, definitely. It was crazy to hear about everything that happened afterward. But like I said, everything happens for a reason, and we had somehow contact with Miz. I don't know if it was we shared phone numbers with them or Instagram.
Yeah, I remember Max. I don't know if Max texted. I think it was like a text.
IG, bro.
I think it was a cold DM. But he just slid through the DMs.
Yeah.
So I think I had moved back to Cali.
Okay.
And then I was posting on my stories, and he's like, "Oh, how's Cali?" or "How you liking Cali?" And then, "Cool, bro. It's cool. It's chill." Then ever since then, we just started building the relationship and exchanged phone numbers. And I remember one time I received a call from Max, and we were just talking for a bit, and then he just asked like, "Oh, just." So I'm interested to know, like, how's living in California? Like, how is it? And I'm like, it's cool, bro. It's a cool experience. Weather's amazing. Food's amazing. You really can't go wrong with it.
Yeah.
Were we already thinking of moving here when you contacted him, or that was before?
Yeah. No, when I contacted him, it was pretty much almost, hey.
We were in the process.
We were in the process, and we wanted to see who we could potentially stay with, and Miz was the only contact I had that was living in Cali.
Yeah.
I remember asking you, is gas really expensive? Is food really expensive?
Yeah.
Because they would tell you, Cali is just much more expensive. So I was just,
is it expensive?
It obviously is more expensive, but living in Santa Monica, it's something that you just get used to those prices.
Yeah.
So. Well, we lived in Miami and I in Austin, Texas, so it wasn't like a complete cultural shock, at least for me. But yeah, so you reached out to me to gather information about Cali because Max and I ended up going back to our hometown in Indiana, and while we were there, we were just brainstorming what our next move was going to be. Our agency had stalled pretty much.
Yeah, we've kind of shared this a little bit already, but.
And then one day we just said, hey, why don't we gather a group of friends and we moved to Cali. And that's when we started doing some research and figuring out how we can move out there. And I remember we just picked up your Jeep and we assembled a team. And Max and I first moved to Cali to figure out logistics and figure out the housing. And we hit up Miz, and he welcomed us to his place in Fontana with his fam. And dude, I remember the day that we got there. I remember I have the videos where I'm recording myself, and I'm like, "Dang, it's hot here," and I'm here with Miz, and yeah, that experience was crazy. What did you think, Miz, when Max? I don't know how it happened, but when we said, "Hey, bro, you think that we can crash at your place?" And first we were like, for a week.
For a week.
We were like, "Can we crash at your place?"
Was it a week?
I think it was a week.
Okay.
Should we provide context from when I moved back to Cali, or?
Yeah, I mean, what happened was that the company went down.
Yeah,
right?
the company went down. We tried different business ventures, did not work out, and I was literally like making no money.
You said you got in debt too, right?
Bro, I was living off my credit cards.
Cheese.
I think that is important to mention because I think a lot of people might struggle with debt situation, and I remember that being a huge hurdle for you to get through.
Yeah, so if anybody listening to this right now, do not live off your credit cards. All right, do not live off your credit cards. Have some type of income coming in. And I took that risk, and it did not work.
Did someone tell you do that? Or did you kind of come to that conclusion?
I came to that conclusion. I'm just like, you know what? We have like 3 different business ventures going. Like, I feel like the statistics are going right. Like, let's do it. Man, it did not.
You thought some money was gonna come in at some point.
Yeah.
Damn.
I thought I was gonna hit the jackpot, but
so how much were you in debt? And my question is, let's start with that. How much were you in debt?
I think like probably like 20-30K credit cards.
No, really.
And what were the ventures that you were exploring that you thought they were gonna hit?
Dude, so it's been a long time. One of them was the growth hack, where we would help influencers grow their following and their engagement.
I remember seeing that
was one
ad.
business venture. Another business venture was the e-commerce, teaching other people how to set up their own drop shipping. That was one of them. And then the last one, I can't remember the last one.
And so were you guys were trying to tackle all of these ventures, or was it, okay, we'll try this one and that didn't work, we'll try this one, that didn't work? How was that?
Yeah, so we tried one, it didn't work, and we tried another, it didn't work, and then again we tried the third one and it didn't work.
And by the time that third one hit, like, you all lost the morale and said, fuck this, we got to go our own ways?
Yeah, so basically, man, I remember I had like maybe $1,000 worth of credit, and I'm just like, man, do I go back home or do I just become homeless in the next month?
Damn, bro, you really thought that, bro?
Yeah, bro, I really thought that. I was like, dude, I have no money coming in. I remember I was applying to jobs too, just so I can like get some income coming in, but I was like, I wasn't hearing back from anybody, and then just like, bro, it was crazy.
Dude, and if you can't share, that's fine, but how was Steven handling all this? What was his posture?
Dude, honestly, Steven was just
he was going through a lot.
He was going through a lot, and he was just really like, he really kept, I didn't see from him, I didn't hear from him as much. Oof. So I couldn't like answer that question. But
so who were you with? Sorry.
Jorge and the other roommates, Gennaro and Scott.
Scott.
Dude. Scott. Where was rent still being paid for, or you guys had to?
Yeah, rent was still being paid for. So no. So I remember, I think it was Steven or Jorge. I can't. But one of them, they were like, "Hey, we're not paying rent no more. So if you guys want to live here, like, it's gonna be out of pocket."
That's what Steven told us too. He said, you guys can still stay and cover rent. But we just didn't.
Yeah. And then, like me, like I think I was 23 at the time. Like I it's been so long, but and it's just, you're living on the 44th floor, you're living in Brickell, like why not, And yeah, used all my money for rent and groceries, and it was gone in like 3-4 months.
And so next thing, so you made that decision, I'm going to go back to Cali.
Yeah, so I made the decision, go back to Cali, and then that's when we started having that
back and forth
talk.
And going back to Isaac's question, because I'm gonna be completely transparent here and real with you, you know. But yeah, the conditions that you lived in, you know, it was very hot. You know, there's a lot of people living in the house.
Spicy, bro.
And I feel that you could have easily taken the opportunity of not feeling comfortable of, you know, having us in your house because of the conditions, and you still said, I'm gonna take you guys in. Why did you decide? Why did you feel comfortable opening up your doors to us?
Just I've always been a good person. You know, my parents taught me morals and, you know, treat people with kindness and stuff. So I knew you guys, and you know, I just felt it was a very special place in my heart to open up the doors for you guys. And I remember talking this to my mom too. I was like, hey, like, Mom, I have a couple of friends. They're, you know, I met them from work, or they used to work at the old job. And I remember my mom was just like, okay, so who are they? How do you know these guys? Just starts asking questions.
Yeah.
And no, I told him, like, you know, these guys are really amazing people. You know, I can have them there. They said they can come down next week. Is it cool if they stay? And she's like, well, how long are they going to be staying? They said about a week or two. They're like, okay. She's like, well, let me talk to your brothers and see if that's okay. And so my mom goes in and talks to the brothers, and they were cool with it. They were okay with it. And I remember, all right, cool. Everybody said okay. All right, hit up Max. Yo, you guys are free to come in.
And that again, because again, I feel the touch of God in that situation, because for everybody to be okay with it,
Yeah,
and our only plug to give us that position. Okay, so Miza's cool with it. Something that I remember getting there for the first day, I was having some, you remember this, I was having some issues with my chest.
Yeah.
I was having some gut issues. Literally, as soon as we touch down in Cali, that shit goes away. Literally,
Really?
bro. Yeah, I was having some, I think because I was not fulfilling my purpose, because I was not going towards something, because I was just back home.
Yeah.
And time was just going, and we were trying to figure things out, but we weren't really figuring things out at the same time until we said, okay, we're going to Cali. I was not feeling good, like in my health, you know. But as soon as we touch Cali, bro, everything goes away. Within the next day, I'm feeling good. We're in Cali, and you know, me and Isaac start chipping away to find a house, and then the problem became that you couldn't find a house in a week. Apparently, you know, apparently you needed more. Dude, did you get frustrated at any point that we kept delaying the stay, and you know, kept telling you, hey, Miz, you know, we're actually gonna need more time? Did you get frustrated at one point?
Me personally, no, because it wasn't my house. It was my mom's. But no, I honestly appreciate the company, because, you know, my family is just going through the grief, and like having other people come in and stay with and visit us and just spend some quality time. I felt like that was like more of like a therapy for them.
Because we did come with energy. We came,
Dude, and honestly, I felt like you said, I could tell that you guys were going through something, and especially your mom. And I remember catching that energy, and just, I really tried to be there for your mom. She loves to talk, and I'm usually pretty good with Hispanic parents. Max knows it with his mom. Like, I talk to his mom, and we have really good conversations. And I felt something similar with your mom, where I just gave her an ear to be heard, and I could tell that she really enjoyed the company. And she was super nice. Your brothers were super cool too. We got to hang out. We were playing video games. We went to the gym. I still have the photos. And your contact, the photo that I have of you is when we went to Planet Fitness and we worked out together. Yeah. That was like the first time that we went to the gym together.
I look different now, right?
Yeah, you look very different, bro. So that was very special to me, like being there and just seeing you guys and hanging out with you. So yeah,
man, that the time when you guys stayed over, like it's gonna be a very special moment.
Josue,
Dude,
we made that
Josue.
special bond with Josue.
Yeah, like you guys, oh my god, he won't stop talking about America. America's mid, bro. So.
Josue is he's the youngest, right?
Youngest brother.
Youngest brother, and I remember we would play FIFA with him, and bro, we would get him so mad. We would get him so mad because we would just beat him, bro, bad, like 10-0, 11-0,
Wow.
But his energy, kids' energy is always very, very high, very playful. So it was just a really good time. Okay, my next question is, because you saw, again, you were there in pivotal moments in our lives. When we moved to Miami, when we moved to Cali. That's pretty crazy, bro.
Yeah.
If you think about it like that, you were in those pivotal moments where me and Isaac moved to a new state and started our journeys, right? And you were pretty much the first individual we saw. Again, we get to Miami, first people we see, me, Steven, and Jorge. We get to Cali, first person we see is the homie Miz. My question is, from those moments that you saw us to where you see us now, did you think we would be here, bro? Did you see that we would be able to make it this far and get to this point in our lives?
Honestly, after you guys left Miami, I thought I wouldn't hear from you guys. I thought I wouldn't hear from you guys. And it wasn't till when you guys got here, and then you guys, I forgot who uploaded this picture on their story, but it was one of you guys were laying down in on the floor full of cardboard boxes, and then we got our bikes in. And
Yeah.
I remember you guys were talking about opening up your bike shop.
Yeah.
From the time you guys were living with us, and then I remember I saw that, I was like,
wait, but so when you heard that, what did you think?
so he's like, because remember the reason you wanted to move to Miami was to open up your bike shop.
No.
Or no, I'm sorry, Cali. Dude, Cali. And I'm like, yeah, bro, come through. I support other people's dreams. I support their goals. And I remember after you guys left and then seeing those cardboard boxes full of bikes, and then months later down the road, unloading the bikes, using the wrenches, and just seeing the whole thing. I'm just like, yo, these guys are creating something right now. This is dope. Yeah. And so at first I thought I wouldn't hear from you guys after you guys left Miami, but when I heard from Max, and then just how everything just came together and connected, and then just started seeing you guys, I'm like, oh, you guys are creating something. That's dope.
So that was a pivotal moment when you saw us with the bikes that we had bought all of our inventory for Rib. That was the pivotal moment. Gotcha.
And then I would say the next moment that, again, God's way of working is just a little bit funny sometimes, is we leave Miz, and we probably stayed in touch, right? But we didn't really hang out as much.
Yeah, I remember you guys would hit up my brother for photography
Photos,
pictures.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause he was doing photography at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I remember, we came a few times.
I think you maybe came a couple of times.
Yeah.
But we did get there in 2019 summer. So, 2020 was right around the corner. COVID hit. And then, so COVID hits. And then summer comes around. And this is about the time that I start working with Prospect Bacon. And this is, again, where it's just weird, the synchronicities of life. But when I'm looking for that job at Prospect Bacon, they asked me for 3 references. I reached out to 3 people, and one of them is Steven Bransfield. I didn't really tell him what job I was applying for, but I was just telling him, hey, can I put your name down and your number down? And he's like, yeah, man, go ahead. So I put Steven's information down, and I get the job, and I don't know when it clicked that Steven was also in the solar space. So Prospect Bacon was a marketing job that I had, and I was advertising solar. So then I find out again that Steven is in the solar space as well. And it's just funny how, again, I had left Steven's life, and all of a sudden we're in the same space again, pretty much competitors, because we're in the solar space. They're trying to get our clients, we're trying to get their clients. And then I find out, oh, yeah, no, it is Steven, because maybe I hopped on a call with him where I was going back and forth in DM, and he's telling me Miz is helping me too. And I was like, oh my God, that is just funny. So then I think I hit you up and I started telling you, bro, Steven told me that you're helping him with solar, etc. And then there's a lot that goes on during that time as well. But things were going really well for me in PB. I was really loving the job. I really loved the leadership that was going on, the people that we're working with. And I knew that it was sort of the opposite with Miz. Again, things were just a little bit tougher, right? Working with Steven. There were some good moments, some bad moments, right? And then pretty much my goal at one point, because my company was growing pretty big, and I saw something very, very solid and steady, and Miz told me that he was no longer working with Steven. I pretty much kept insisting on Miz on giving him this opportunity, because I knew how much Prospect Bacon had changed my life working, and I knew that Miz was already in the space, and I knew that if he came to work with us, I just felt that life was gonna change with you pretty instantly, because they paid on time, and I know that was one of the things that you were kind of struggling with.
It was a struggle, man. It was a struggle for sure.
And I remember it took me 2 or 3 times convincing Miz to come join, because he was burnt out.
Yeah, at first I was just like tired of running ads for the solar industry, and I was just like, nope, I don't want nothing to do with it. Like I remember telling you, like, yo, like, thanks, man, but I'm not interested at the moment. And I think at that time, the jiu-jitsu academy that I trained at was looking for another program director. So program director is basically somebody who takes in new leads and just signs them up. Mm-hmm. And I remember the academy grew from 200 students to like 500 students in like 3 months. Wow. And for a jiu-jitsu academy, that's pretty successful.
So you were the brains behind that growth.
Yeah.
So, really?
Yeah.
So what did you do? What was your strategy?
Introducing online ads, so Facebook.
They weren't doing
Facebook.
any.
They were not doing Facebook lead
Wow.
ads. Automatic text message follow-ups. They weren't doing that, so I'd introduce that, and then just basically everything that I learned from online marketing just implemented into their system.
Okay.
And then from there, their business started growing.
Were you also in charge of the content, or you brought in someone to record?
Kind of. They just require like small content, like post every Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Before the ads, I mean. What kind
for
of
the
content
ads,
were
yeah.
you running?
Yeah. For the ads, yeah. It was
Okay.
it was just a simple ad copy.
Photo?
Simple photo. Hopped on what's that one app called where Canva.
Canva.
Okay.
Hopped on Canva. I did not know how to use Canva, but it's just like, dude, it's the best.
Were you using Lead Owl?
I don't know what Lead Owl is.
The one that we used with Steven.
No, it was Birdie something. It was a bird, no?
No, it was Lead Owl.
Texty?
Texty.
Okay, so that was the third business.
Birdie,
that was
Texty.
the third business.
That was the third
That was the
business.
third business.
I
Yeah,
remember
you guys
that
remember. Yeah. Dude, no, it did not do good. So
Wow.
I think it was from when. Okay, so I used Zapier plus
Lead forms.
lead forms, and then zap that contact into a Google Sheet.
Yeah.
And then send out text messages through Twilio.
Okay.
Yeah, through Twilio.
That's
Nice.
that Isaac shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds
That's-
Hey, it works. It works.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, then after like I just saw much success from the academy growth. I remember I received another text from Max. He's like, "Hey, are you still interested in that position?" And this
Damn,
was like
you were persistent, dude.
I
this
was
was like
pretty
maybe 3 to
persistent.
5 months after I was working at the academy. I'm like, "All right, what's up? Let's talk." And
Did you get tired of working at the academy? Or?
No, it was cool. It's just the pay wasn't there.
How much were you making?
So I was making minimum wage. I was making about 1,500 a month, plus commission. So like any new, so there was a cap once the commission bonus started coming in.
Right.
I think it was anywhere between 20 to 30 students that we sign up a month. That's when the commission starts coming in. And like I would say a good month would probably be around 5K. I think that's the most I made with them.
Oh wow.
Which in PB it was just equivalent to like working 1 month there. But anyways.
Wait, can you explain that again?
So in the Jiu-Jitsu Academy, I worked a minimum wage and then made around 1,500. And then for any students that we sign up after 20 or 30, I can't remember. That's when I would start getting commission bonuses.
Okay.
And I think the most we signed up in a month was probably 80.
Damn.
80 students.
And that's when you would see the 5K.
Yeah, bro.
Okay.
It was good.
And dude, by this point, are you debt free or you're still working to pay that debt?
I'm not debt free, but most of it is just out already.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Yeah, because I wanted to, like you mentioned, Max, I feel like sometimes people do struggle with that debt. And I remember you worked at Amazon for some time, right?
Dude.
Yeah.
And I remember you telling me, dude, I just need to like pay off this debt.
yeah. So after what happened in Miami, worked at Amazon. I took a night shift, and I remember at that same time I was also starting to work on my agency. So it was going good until I got sick, really sick, and then I had to leave Amazon. But I had money coming in from the agency, and then COVID hits, so all these businesses had to shut down. So I'm like, crap, what do I do? So then one of my friends, he referred me to an e-commerce agency, a startup, and he told me, okay, they pay about $1,500 a month. You'll get paid monthly. I'm like, all right, bet. So first 2 months goes good. The third month, the owner just like lags it on paying. Hit the owner up a couple times. No, I'll pay you back. I'll pay you double. I'll pay you what I owe you, and then I'll pay you like the month that you worked. So I'll get like a 2-month paycheck. I'm all right, cool. And no, he just only paid me one, bro.
No.
And then after that, he just started getting late. I was like, all right, I'm out of here. So I leave, and then that's when I get hired from Steven working at that solar marketing agency.
Right. Sorry, I know we sidetracked, but going back to PB, you hit up Max like, all right, let's talk. What happened then?
Yeah, so he took down my contact information, no, he already had my contact information, but he said, hey, is it cool if I give your information to Madison? So Madison was like the hiring director there at the time.
Madison?
Yeah. Remember Madison?
I remember Madison.
Yeah, so, and then I get a text from Madison the next day and be like, hey, would you be interested in an interview with our CEO, Avery, whenever you're available?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, cool. Get an interview from Avery.
Gets the job.
Yeah. Had a couple more interviews, and then I get an email from Avery saying, hey, congrats, you got the job.
Nice.
Yeah, and then it's funny because for me, it was funny, bro, because I get Miz in, right? So life kind of switched at this point. I was working with you guys, and, you guys were, in that corporate world. You guys were above me, and then it kind of switched, and now I was getting Miz in, and then Miz got Jorge in.
Yes.
And so I was like, this is crazy because we literally were working together with Steven, and now all of a sudden we're working again. And Steven's also in the space. He wasn't working with us, but he was also in the space.
Somehow in the space.
It was just one of those things that was crazy to me. But
Steven, he hit me up recently too.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's like, how do you feel about running ads for roofing? I'm like, bro, say less. Let's do it.
Wait, really? You're interested in that?
Yeah, just some more. Right now, I'm just working on making some more money coming in.
Oh, okay.
So if it's promising, if it's within ethics, like I would do it. So. We won't go into detail there.
Wait, you're saying you wouldn't run that OnlyFans?
No, bro. No OnlyFans.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that a little bit. Let's talk about the dating scene, because I know that's one of the things that
that's what Miz likes to talk about.
You know,
what do you want to know?
You know, let's just talk about our experience, because I think that's how at one point, bro, my relationship with you turned into just that, bro. And I feel that, you know, sometimes certain friends fill in certain
Voids.
He said voids.
Certain friends just fill different roles in your life, you know.
Yeah.
Isaac, I come to, you know, it's very business oriented, you know, money, this and that. But with you, you kind of served that role in my life of just talking about girls. We were on the same wave and dating, and you were really trying to.
Dude, I remember you guys had this bet of
God!
If you see a girl and you don't talk to her, you owe.
We had several ones.
We owe like $5 or something like that.
Yeah.
We had several ones, so that was one of them.
Yeah.
That if we saw a hot girl that we wanted to talk to and we didn't say anything, we would send the other person $5.
Yeah.
I remember you were. I think Miz was making you bank.
Yeah, Miz was making me bank for that, and then
What happened, Miz? You just weren't willing to pull the trigger, or
It's
what?
tough.
It's
Tell them
tough.
tell them how tough the streets are, bro.
It's tough, bro.
So I want to know, dude, what's been your journey in that? Because from the outside, I have seen like both of you, obviously more Max, but through Max, I've seen also you grow in that area of becoming more confident and wanting to talk to girls and feel like you're the man. So what's been that process like for you, and how you got here now, where I feel like you do have more confidence?
Yeah, I remember in high school, like I had my hair long, so that was easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, girls would just literally go up and just like start conversations.
They fucked with you for the long hair?
Yeah, bro.
Sheesh.
Yeah. And it wasn't until like college where like my hair started falling off and I started losing more confidence in myself. And then I majored in STEM. So like mostly people in STEM are kind of antisocial, or, you know, there's the social skills aren't really there.
Yeah.
Not dissing anybody in STEM, but it's just like you're so
Just the
focused
personality.
in school. Yeah. And so I remember like that is when I started to struggle and really like start approaching women. And I had this long confidence issue, or I had this confidence issue for a long time. It's like balding and stuff. And that really messed with my confidence. Like, you know, you lose your hair and now what? And so it wasn't until like, you know, once started working with PB, I started having some more free time, and then just started like focusing more on self-development, and then how can I change my outer image? How can I improve my personality? How can I, you know, be that guy?
Build a game.
Learn game, dude, everything. And it's just little by little, I just started like taking action, going to the gym, eating clean, you know, meeting new friends.
Yeah.
And
Why do you keep laughing?
It's because, bro, there's just so many memories in this journey with Miz, bro. I remember Miz is you're a very chill person. You're super chill. And I remember going out to Miz to these places, and I just feel that, you know, we both kind of didn't take that action, but it was hard to take action with Miz, because Miz is not the action taker. He needs someone to sort of help him. And I remember when we would go to these festivals, bro, we would try, but we just couldn't, bro. It was pretty hard.
I mean, so like,
Would you agree? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, it was pretty hard.
It was pretty hard. And
so what's going through your head
ask him that.
when you're there looking at a girl at a distance and telling Max, dude, that girl's hot, and you not being able to go up to that girl? What's going on in your head, dude?
Yeah, it's just that fear of rejection.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it is, like that fear of rejection.
And not knowing how to, I would say too, not knowing really what to say.
I think for me, it's more of that.
Not knowing what to say.
Not fear of rejection, but just I don't know what to say.
How do I seduce her? How do I game her?
How do I talk?
Yeah,
but for
yeah.
you, it's fear of rejection.
No, that it's
It's
out the
everything.
way. Oh,
It's everything, bro. Wouldn't you
But-
say it's a little bit of everything?
a little bit, but yeah, the knowing what to say is the
Mm-hmm.
hardest part.
Yeah.
It's
Did you ever feel like you had a breakthrough moment where you went up to a girl and you know had a good game and you got something out of it and you were like, fuck, I'm getting good, or something that I studied or something I watched really helped me.
yeah. I remember sending Max a couple of screenshots of like conversations and yeah.
But was there a breakthrough? Just one that kind of.
I mean, now it's now I feel a lot easier and a lot more confident, and then it's just like, keeping the conversation going through text. And
I remember once, bro. I told him, bro, you're gonna come down to Santa Monica with me. We're gonna go in the streets and we're gonna go talk to women. And it was tough for you, bro. It was tough for you.
It was, yeah.
And I remember you saw me in action, and there was a couple of times where I fucking fumbled it, and I backed out. But you saw me get in it as well. You saw me I remember we were at the mall once, and remember?
Yeah, I remember.
And we were just upstairs, and I told him, because I was feeling it, I was in my flow, and I'm like, it's not that hard, bro. Literally, first girl, college girl, walks right by me. I stop her, and boom, she tells me she has a boyfriend. But I'm like, see, bro, like, it's not hard, bro.
You were just feeling it that day?
I was feeling it that day.
So, Mies, you said that you started to put all the pieces together, like going to the gym, eating clean. What other things would you recommend for any dude watching this that feels the same way, that fear of rejection, not knowing what to say? And obviously you also had Max, you guys were pushing each other. What are some other things that dudes can implement to increase their game and feel more confident?
Let's hear it.
Finding a partner, like a friend, to keep each other accountable. That's very important. And then also, if you're struggling with something, it's something internally, I would say, go to therapy for that. Because there's some unresolved trauma. And this is where I started going to therapy too.
You still do therapy?
Not anymore.
Okay.
But I would go to a therapist and share with him, some of the problems that I had, and it really paved the way towards a different mindset, a different shift. Not saying therapy is like gonna fix your problems, but therapy is just gonna help you see things and then steer you in the right direction.
So it'll just open up your eyes to the issue so that you at least are aware of them.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think those tips are really good. I think one for me that I had a lot of trouble with, and again, why I started being in contact with Miz a lot, is because you do need someone to keep you accountable, and that's why Miz and I started making those bets.
I would say
Those
the
are
bets
good.
too. The bets.
Yeah.
Those are fun.
Yeah, you sort of gamify the whole experience.
Yeah.
What about you, Max? What other sources that Mies hasn't said? I know you guys did you guys watch? I know you were watching YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, you were big into watching other people on YouTube. There's so many dudes out there on YouTube just providing even real life examples. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Of them approaching women. Did you guys watch those and learn from those?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We would share.
Oh, yeah.
We would share videos, share links, and yeah, a lot of it has to do with like just solving the small problems, like approaching, knowing what to say, but at the same time, it's like, okay, now the more you start doing this, you kind of start seeing like, okay, how can I build a relationship with this person, like, connect with this person.
Yeah, I think you just have to be pretty self-aware of the type of person that you are and what type of help it is that you need, and what really gets you going, and what it is that's going to push you to that zone. And for me, it was I needed that help, so I made like an investment to get a coach to help me with it, because as me said, it was almost like therapy for me, because because it is that inner chatter, bro. It is that those thoughts that you have of I can't get this girl, maybe I'm not good enough. Like, you know, all these things that you kind of tell yourself. Voice. Yeah, just that inner chatter. And so having someone that can help you, whether it's an older brother or, you know, a good friend, but, you know, you really have to trust. For example, I would talk to Miz about these situations, but I couldn't really trust Miz's advice, you know, because he wasn't that guy just yet, you know. So I really had to find someone, you know, he was someone that I could talk to and just kind of bounce back ideas and, you know, see what he thought. But I really needed someone that could help me, that really understood the game, that saw the game, and that could guide me in the right direction. And so I would say that was key. But then at a very basic level, I think if you just want to go the hard way, you just got to go fucking talk and say hi, bro. Just say hi. Yeah. I think I've shared this before, but literally I remember the first girl, bro. She was so hot, bro. And I just said hi, you know. That was literally it, bro.
Yeah, that's all you could muster out.
And that was it. And then it's like, or I remember when I would go on these sessions, I would just
on these sessions, what do you mean?
Yeah, these sessions of I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna talk to 5 girls. You know, and that was a session. Time
yeah.
you,
no, we have like 4 minutes.
So I would go on these sessions, and I remember that the first one is just saying hi, or hey, what are the directions to this place, you know? Because a lot of the times, again, in this society, in the U.S., people just don't talk to each other, so it's very weird when you say hi to someone else. And so if it's a girl, they're just kind of like, they're very on defense, you know, especially that cold approach, you know?
Yeah.
And so I remember at the beginning, just going very basic with it. Hey, I'm new here. Do you know where I can get to this place? Or, you know, hey, what time is it? You know?
Yeah.
And then you see that they'll just talk to you back and it's cool and they're not going to reject you and they're not going to hate on you. And then you will get those hard rejections. Like, I remember I got some pretty bad, bro. But honestly, for me, it just got to a point where, like, those hard rejections just kind of motivate you more, you know?
Yeah.
And you realize that because they will happen and that's what you're afraid of. And then that happens and you're alive and nothing, you know, life just continues. You're like, oh, it's not that bad, you know?
Yeah. So I also wanted to ask, because last week that we talked, you mentioned that you were on Hinge or Bumble. Which one?
Hinge.
All of them.
Yeah, Hinge. No, there was a time where I was on all of them.
Yeah.
But Hinge is
the one.
Dude, how does that work for you? I've tried it before, online, what do you call online dating?
Online dating, yeah.
Yeah, and dude, it never worked for me. I never got a date out of it. And
matches? Did you get matches?
Yeah, I got matches, but no, like, responses, nothing. Yeah. How does that work for you, bro?
So it's a process, and the way how I see it is
A/B
like
testing
is a marketing funnel.
Yeah.
And so it depends on your pictures, it depends on your prompts. Also, once you get the match, you got to get them off the app, either through phone number, through Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so far, out of like probably 100 matches, I've only had one Hinge date.
Oh, okay.
And
it's tough.
Yeah.
Dang, that's a 1% conversion rate,
bro.
bro.
It's tough. Even like the highest caliber guys.
Yeah. And Hinge is tough, right? Because it's a little bit more bougie, would you say?
It's
probably evolved where it's grown.
Yeah.
I would say at first they had that vibe.
Yeah.
And probably at this point it's opened the market up a little bit more.
Yeah. So it's definitely up there, and out of all the dating apps, Hinge is the best one.
Give Isaac some game and tell him your Batman line.
All right. So
Batman line.
So normally I ask like the girl, okay.
In person or through text?
Through the Hinge app.
Hinge is good to practice your text game. Because text game has to be strong.
Oh, really?
This is one of the first things I noticed, because I remember newbie me was like, all I have to do is get the number. Once I get the number, we're gonna start dating. I literally thought that, bro. I'm like, I get the number, we're gonna be dating, and we'll be boyfriend and girlfriend anytime soon. And then like I got numbers, and I would get ghosted,
Nothing.
and I'm like,
Yeah,
wait, what's going on?
too, bro? It's a marketing funnel for sure.
So Hinge
So the
is
Batman
good
line
for
works for this.
Okay, so here's what I do. All right, get the match. Open up with the girl, open up the message like, "Hey, how you doing?" or "Hey, how's your night?" Or sometimes I even like throw in like, "Hey, you're cute, Latina."
This is the one. This is a good one.
You're cute. You're Latina. You're from this place, or you do this. What's the catch? You know.
This is a good one.
And usually the girls say no catch. And
Yeah,
I'd be
they
like-
always say that, bro.
They always say that, no catch. And be like, oh, okay, so I found the perfect match then. But I need to know, what are your hobbies? What is it?
Your red flags.
Well, that's what he says when he says, "What's the catch?" You
Yeah,
know, it's
what's-
like,
Yeah.
what's that red flag? But
Yeah.
like
I'm
he
toxic
says,
as fuck.
these girls never say they're perfect, bro.
Right, they're
Yeah,
perfect.
somehow they're perfect.
Yeah,
So
somehow.
there's hobbies, and then I ask them, what are your hobbies? What are your, you got any tattoos, or do you have any, and what are your superpowers? So then they go ahead and list them, right? And then they ask back, what are yours? And I tell them, I read, I work out, I do jujitsu, I do boxing,
I hold Bitcoin.
but I'm also Batman at night.
Okay.
And then, dude, like,
Wait, but don't you say if you?
and then that's the punchline. But then
Yeah.
I follow up with the message. So if you ever need me, you can throw the bat signal up in the sky.
Okay.
So that works a lot of the time. I had a homie. He was struggling on Hinge Bell, like, bro, just open up with this line, say these words, and it's a wrap.
That's a good flow, though. I like that flow. It's very friendly. It's very playful. It does make it sound that you know that there is more to it. With I need to know what are your hobbies, what are your interests. Is that how you close that one from Hinge?
No, so it's more.
Oh, it's Hinge, Anda.
What?
That's Amanda, right? The Hinge date.
Yeah. So, dude, man, this was like probably.
Bro, I remember this story, bro.
So yeah, so that's how I close her. I asked for a phone number, and then the strategy is to get them off the app, either through Instagram or through a phone number.
Yeah.
Back then, my Instagram wasn't as like you don't see those model pics, me with the plants and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But so I just asked for a phone number. She gave it to me. Cool. We had the conversation going through text. And this is another important thing that I recommend for every guy to do. Because since it is off the internet, you want to make sure that you're not being catfish. And so that was my biggest worry. Like, yo, am I being catfish? Like, like what? Like, it feels so good to be true,
Yeah.
And so I had asked her, like, oh, so you down for a FaceTime call later? And she's like, yeah, I'm with it.
Oh, wow.
And so
That's key.
Yeah.
If you're talking to a girl and it's a cold lead, you approach her, whatever, you get her number. FaceTime is very key, so she knows that you're a cool guy, that you can hold a conversation. I think if you try to go from text to date,
It's tough.
that's gonna be
But
tough, bro.
so I do feel like girls are shy to FaceTime, though. What happens if you just get a shy one and she's like,
At least
I
a
don't know
call.
about that, but
You
yeah,
can do a
at
call,
least a
fine.
phone call.
Yeah.
At least a phone
so
call.
just maybe it's like the steps would be text, call, FaceTime in person, but you do try to skip that call and just go straight to
yeah.
the,
So depending on the girl, every girl's different.
Yeah.
They would either be down for a FaceTime call, or not, or they'll be down for the call instead, or not.
But your game
Okay.
should be good enough where you can get the FaceTime.
Yes.
You need to make them feel comfortable and like, this is gonna be a good FaceTime call. I need to do this, So that's what your game should
Okay.
be.
Yeah. So we hop on the FaceTime call, and I remember telling Max, "Yo, she's real."
So I remember that.
Yeah, so we had the conversation going, and I was like, okay, so what are your plans for this Sunday? She's like, oh, I'm free Sunday. And I'm like, all right, bet. So later down, we agreed to meet up. And I remember it was on a Sunday. We met. and I had driven like an hour away,
God.
and then meet her there, and I was like, oh shit, like
It's real.
damn, this shit, it's real, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was cool. I mean, we vibed, went to dinner, and then walked around the area that we were at. I think we were
Yeah.
at Boca Raton. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Nice.
But yeah, we had a cool time, and yeah, we had a conversation going after. Then it kind of started falling down, and I remember she texted me. She's like, "Hey, I think it's better off as we stay as friends." And I'm like, "All right, cool, like, no worries."
Yeah, we could keep going. There's so many stages to the dating scene for sure. This is just the beginning stage of how to get a date. But I mean, from the outside perspective, obviously, Max, you're in a relationship now, and you're not, right? You're single.
So, I'm talking to someone right now.
Oh, talking to someone. You know,
Let's go.
pinche mis. But I mean, I did see in both of you guys. I don't talk to you, Misa, as much or used to. I feel like we're starting to now. But from Max, I know that you were also putting in the work, and I saw the improvement on your IG, and also from the few times that we met in person. So just want you to know that I've seen you grow, and I've seen the progress, and I'm proud of you, dude.
Thank you, bro. And
Yeah.
it doesn't stop here.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
Just gotta keep on evolving.
That's good.
You want to wrap it up?
Yeah, so I mean, dude, I don't know what to say other than be thankful for the welcome you gave us for Max and I when we came here to Cali. As you guys can see, now we're here in Santa Monica after starting the bike shop, buying another bike business, and doing a few other things, and it wouldn't have been possible without the help of Misa and his family. I hope that you guys enjoyed this pod with Max and Miz. We covered a little bit more about us, our come up, talked about Miami, how we met Miz. Also, you got to share a little bit more about you, Miz. I think you have a lot to share, and you even told me last week, actually, we went sparring, Miz and I. That might be for another
talk about that.
for another episode, but that was cool. But we talked afterward, and you told me, dude, I just need to get more comfortable in front of the camera, and I think that's going to unlock it for you, because you love teaching, and obviously to teach nowadays, you need to be in front of a camera, and you're gonna reach a larger audience. And I'm happy that people are gonna see you and get to know you, and hopefully you inspired some people. I think there were some good nuggies there with the dating advice, also your story of your dad and everything that you went through, and also your good heart to open up your house to us. You were a huge part of our success, like Max said, Miami, and then now in California. But thank you for being here. I had a good time talking to you and getting to know you more, and same to you, Max.
Miz, any last words?
No, thank you guys for having me.
Well, hopefully we have you on again and talk about that sparring session. There's a lot more to talk about.
I think talking into like getting into martial arts is
Yeah.
is a
that would be fun.
huge game changer.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. We just covered a little bit of the surface level right now. But again, thank you so much for watching, guys. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Anything that you liked from the episode, comment down below. But thank you so much, guys, for watching.
Thank you, Miz.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, bro.
All right, guys. See ya.
See ya.